Right now I have the remarkable man, Dinesh D'Souza, on with me, and his film, Vindicating Trump, is now out on DVD. Is it also being streamed? Dinesh,
Hey,
what is
Dennis.
the story? Hi.
Yes, it's available for streaming at SalemNOW and some other platforms, and VindicatingTrump.com will link you with wherever you want to see it. And then Salem has the exclusive on the DVDs and is shipping them both directly from Salem and also through Amazon.
Okay, terrific. So, first of all, tell us in a nutshell what Vindicating Trump is about and why it's so important that people see it, especially right now.
Well, the movie makes a highly, I think, inspiring, persuasive, and even entertaining case for Trump. It interprets the events of the past several years. I'd like to give you a glimpse of the kind of thing you get in the movie. You know the iconic scene, Dennis, about Trump coming down the escalator at Trump Tower in 2015. Now, here's how I interpret that scene. At the top of the escalator, I kind of envision the cultural elites, Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, all the cool people. They all want to be photographed with Trump, seen with Trump. But then he makes a very fateful decision. He gets on the escalator and he goes down, he descends. But where does he descend to? In my view, at the bottom of the escalator, you can imagine all the kind of forgotten people of America, the people who've been sidelined, ignored, their jobs traded away. And they look up and they see this guy Trump and they go, wow, he's not one of us, but he's taking up our cause. And they become fiercely loyal to him. But conversely, from the point of view of the people at the top of the escalator, they see Trump as having abandoned their fold, joined with the pitchfork people, taken up their cause against them. And so here in a single glimpse, in a snapshot, if you will, you can understand a little bit why the same people who were so enthusiastic about Trump before became so hostile toward him immediately after.
Yes, and what is the reason?
The reason is that there is a kind of a clash between the elite establishment and its priorities and the welfare of the ordinary guy. And the meaning of Trump's populism is that he is siding with the ordinary guy against these people, so they recognize him as a dangerous enemy. Now, when I say a dangerous enemy, they recognize that he has a fortitude, a tenacity that is unmatched by any other Republican in the field. And this explains the peculiar intensity of the attack on him and him alone. I think the Democrats know that with any other Republican, like 2 criminal charges will do the trick. That guy would be, exit the field, he'd be gone. But here's Trump, 91 criminal charges, no problem. 2 assassination attempts, no problem. I mean, this guy has a level of political bravery, I think, unseen in the country, perhaps in yours and my lifetime.
Right, but they hated him from the get-go, even before any of this, even before the indictments, even before the assassination attempts. The level of hatred of every single Republican is profound. I read earlier about how it is, since World War II, the calling of Republicans Nazis has been somewhat common among Democrats. But the intensity here is unique. Do you have a theory as to what is he a traitor to his wealthy class? What is it that they most hate about him?
I think they most hate about him is the power that he embodies that is not only political but also cultural. Remember that Trump was a massive cultural celebrity, one of the biggest brands in the world, if not the biggest. He's as big as Coca-Cola. And we think of Reagan as a cultural celebrity, but let's remember Reagan was not. Reagan was, by and large, a reasonably well-known Hollywood actor, but Reagan wasn't Jimmy Stewart. He wasn't Humphrey Bogart. Reagan in that sense was a minor cultural celebrity compared to Trump. I think the other thing is Trump has a kind of power. I raised this question with Trump in the film, which I think reveals the heart of the matter. I said to him, look, they keep saying you called for an insurrection. As far as I can see, you didn't do that. But, I said, guess what? had you called for one, there would have been one. I mean, a real one on January 6th. And there'd probably be one if you called for one now. Now, think about it, Dennis. Can you think of any other person, not just Republican, in America who could legitimately call for an insurrection and create one? No.
There's a book vindicating Trump as well. Is that correct, Dinesh?
Yes, book and movie side by side. And the book's available everywhere through Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The film is available at SalemNOW, and DVDs also from SalemNOW.com.
So we were talking about the question, which is not easy to answer, at least for me. The level of hatred of him is the greatest that I have seen, and they've hated every single Republican, everyone. This is people who are old enough to remember. They hated Ronald Reagan, and of course they dismissed him not as a fascist as often as a dummy. And he could run rings around them intellectually, and the proof is how witty he was. But this is a new level. So I have a question. I wonder if you've ever been asked this. I ask myself this all the time. When they call Donald Trump Hitler, Nazi, fascist, do you believe they believe it?
No, not the people who are the inventors of the accusation. I do believe that there are sincere Democrats around the country who have been so pummeled with this propaganda that they do believe it. These are people who will genuinely palpitate if Trump wins the election. But the people who invent the accusation, people like Schumer, you saw Schumer at the Catholic event in New York, right, Dennis?
Yeah, of course.
If you watch
right.
that carefully, you would see numerous moments where Schumer and Trump are literally poking each other. They're sort of jostling with each other the way Reagan would jostle with Tip O'Neill. And so that's not something you would do with Hitler.
So if Schumer were put on a lie detector and said, do you believe that he is a fascist, he would flunk the lie detector test?
Exactly. And what he would, and if you put him on the psychiatrist's couch, I think, what would really emerge is this, I think, and that is that the Democrats have been launching a kind of gangster operation since Obama to establish an iron grip over the country. They're like the gangsters in the Western movie who have sort of shot up the old sheriff and taken over the town. And Trump is a little bit like the Clint Eastwood figure who comes over the mountain. Now, ask yourself, why would the gangsters go to every length to get rid of this guy? Because he is the one guy who threatens their enterprise, or to use leftist rhetoric, who threatens their hegemony. They have an 800-pound gorilla, which is the regime. Trump is an 800-pound gorilla unto himself. So he's the one guy that they fear can bring the whole thing down, and that's why they'll stop at nothing.
Indeed. All right. So again, remind everybody about the movie and the book, and I'm saying this, folks, because I think they're both so important, called Vindicating Trump. It's at Salem and on DVD. It's streaming at SalemNOW.com, and the book is available everywhere. Did I get it right? I asked you to do it, but if I got it right, that's even better.
Dennis, you got it completely right.
Okay, my friend. Well, good luck to you. It is an important thing that you've done again, and good luck to the country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dinesh. All right, thank you.